Did you know? The S25 Ultra could be an even better gaming phone than the S24 Ultra. Here's why. The S24 Ultra is among the greatest gaming phones you can buy, but the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra might be much better on this front. For one thing, it will obviously be more powerful, but it might be able to make better use of all that power too, as according to tipster Ahmed Quader posting on X, the S25 Ultra's vapor chamber will deliver 42% better cooling than the vapor chamber in the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. This should keep the phone a lot cooler when used for demanding tasks like high-end games, and that in turn should help the chipset maintain its top performance, because performance is sometimes throttled when a device heats up too much. The basic Samsung Galaxy S25 and the Galaxy S25 Plus will supposedly also receive some improvements on this front, albeit only a 10% boost to their cooling. This is good news in any case, as when the Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, which we're expecting in these phones, isn't slowed down by heat. It's a real powerhouse, with Quader noting that it should deliver a 34% boost in GPU performance, a 38% increase in CPU performance, and a 43% in NPU performance to the Galaxy S25 Ultra. And this isn't the only enhancement we're just now hearing about for the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, as according to reputed leak at Ice Universe, it could also promise higher video quality when recording at night. This is supposedly enabled by CPU upgrades, thus the Snapdragon 8 Elite is expected to aid with more than just gaming. It's unclear whether these video upgrades will apply to the rest of the Samsung Galaxy S25 line or not though. Ice Universe particularly mentions the S25 Ultra, but the other versions are supposedly getting the same chipset, so they might benefit from this too. As you can see in the chart, the S25 Ultra might be totally packed with high-end gear, but let's go through exactly what we expect and why. First up, the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra screen, which according to sources will presumably come in at 6.86 inches. However, Samsung doesn't normally go so particular about screen sizes outside of small print, so it will most likely be sold as a 6.9-inch screen. Either way, it would make it a little bigger than the already gigantic 6.8-inch display on the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. In fact, it would place it among the largest smartphone screens you'll find, at least outside of foldable phones, and would see it match the iPhone 16 Pro Max for size, which is probably why Samsung is purportedly making it bigger this year. Other details of the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra screen haven't leaked yet, but we can take a good guess at several aspects. For example, it will probably have a resolution of at least 1440 by 3120, since that's the S24 Ultra's resolution. If anything though, there's a potential the resolution could be higher on this model, especially as the panel is apparently larger. We're also extremely convinced that the S25 Ultra will have a 120Hz refresh rate, as again, that's what its predecessor had, and since it's very rare for non-gaming phones to go above that. Next up, the chipset, and this could be one of the most intriguing upgrades on the S25 Ultra, because multiple sources say the S25 Ultra will sport a Snapdragon 8 Elite CPU. Of course, the CPU is just one side of the power equation. Smartphones also rely on RAM, and on that front the S25 Ultra is said to contain up to 16 gigs. That would be another increase on the current model, as the S24 Ultra comes with 12 gigs. If the S25 Ultra really have 16 gigs of RAM, then it will have more than the vast majority of phones, and that quantity should be a big help to AI performance. That said, one source indicates the base Galaxy S25 Ultra model will have 12 gigs of RAM paired with 256 gigs of storage, adding that you'll have to fork out on a 512 gigs or 1 terabytes model to obtain 16 gigs of RAM. Another source has also pointed to those Galaxy S25 Ultra storage capacities. And yet another source has indicated there will only be a 12 gigs model of the S25 Ultra, so there's still a chance we won't see any 16 gigs configurations. Still, we've also heard that the Galaxy S25 Ultra could offer quicker storage than its predecessor. I am seeking for an upgraded ultra-wide camera. Upgrading to a 50-megapixel sensor for the ultra-wide lens will considerably improve low-light shooting and dynamic range, areas where prior models The S24 Ultra has a 12 megapixels UW sensor, has space for improvement. The 50MP sensor may considerably boost low-light photography, allowing for better light gathering, decreasing noise, and enhancing detail in dark or dim circumstances. This sensor will capture greater detail, which can contribute to a better dynamic range. It will capture images with both bright highlights and dark shadows with a lot greater accuracy. We have noticed the improvement in low-light circumstances and dynamic range in the earlier models, such as the Samsung Galaxy S20 FE. Using the S25 Ultra, you're likely to witness changes in how photos are processed using the AI. The AI might propose modifications, or just go ahead and tweak things like color balance and contrast, or even apply effects that it believes you'd like based on your uses or edited history. There should be a more sophisticated management of vibration and motion blur. 5. Battery and charging. I am seeking for faster charging in smartphones. While Samsung has maintained 45-watt charging for its Ultra models, it's time to step up. Samsung might potentially offer 60-watt or even greater in some countries, substantially lowering charging times. Implementing battery AI may automatically regulate power usage, learning from user patterns to optimize battery life, which would be a big leap forward in user experience. Rumors are claiming that the battery size will remain at 4,000 mAh for the S25, identical to its predecessor, the S24. The S25 Plus will have a battery capacity of 4,900 mAh, the same as the S24 Plus. The S25 Ultra is anticipated to stay at 5,000 mAh, the same as the S24 Ultra. However, there's talk of potential gains in power efficiency due to the new Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset, which might improve battery life indirectly. 6. Software. With the promise of One UI 7, Samsung might introduce a smoother, more intuitive interface. Features like seamless upgrades, as seen in the Google Pixel devices, would reduce the need for reboots during updates, boosting consumer convenience. The One UI 7 could bring about capabilities where the phone anticipates user demands without manual inputs, easing daily interactions. Samsung has officially stated that there will be a new version of One UI with the S25 Ultra. There will be up to 7 years of software support for the Galaxy S25 series. 7. Additional features. A larger vibration motor for improved haptic feedback would enrich the tactile experience, something I've seen may dramatically affect user involvement, especially in gaming or while using the S Pen. With the power of modern CPUs, thermal control becomes critical. A larger vapor chamber for cooling would ensure the gadget functions optimally even under severe load. The S25 Ultra has the ability to alter what we expect from premium smartphones. From design to performance, and notably in categories like AI integration and camera technology, Samsung might lead the premium segment. However, all these features are based on leaks, rumors, and the logical advancement of technology, so they remain hypothetical until formal announcements. Next, it's apparently been a year since Samsung launched the S24 Ultra, a phone we praised as the most premium Android experience into 2024. Samsung debuted the phone with a newly minted flat display, a unique anti-glare coating on the screen, a stronger titanium frame, and a greater software update promised than ever. At launch, it was evident what Samsung would need to do to make the S25 Ultra a better phone. But while 2024's greatest premium phone debuted strong, niggling flaws crept up over the year. The snazzy new display was discovered to suffer from some weird quality and configuration issues, and certain construction quality concerns with the glass have crept up after a few months of use. As we feared when Samsung revealed it last year, ray tracing on phones hasn't caught on yet. Diablo Immortal delivered its significant ray tracing upgrade, but we haven't seen a huge push for implementing this technology on phones, probably due to battery life and performance limits that phones uniquely confront when contrasted to consoles or PCs that push the same tech. Overall though, the S24 Ultra still delivers amazing real-world performance. Newer phones like the OnePlus 13 greatly surpass it in terms of performance and thermal constraints, but that's perfectly anticipated from a new generation. For its part, the Galaxy S24 Ultra never feels slow, but Samsung tends to decrease brightness quite a little when the phone starts to grow warm. This maintains performance high and avoids the phone from overheating, but it's unpleasant to have to cope with reduced brightness at the worst time, in the bright sun. Outside of this situation, however, the S24 Ultra works wonderfully and should delight even the pickiest of consumers, even a year later. Overall performance is still amazing even a year later. However, the phone's display dims too quickly when the phone becomes heated. One flaw that only feels worse with time, however, is the horribly sluggish charging speed. Samsung, Google, and Apple's phones all still charge very slowly, even with a fast 45-watt charger. Phones like the OnePlus 12 can fully charge in around 30 minutes with a charger included in the package, but Samsung phones still take well over an hour. Some individuals have gotten around this by having a nice wireless charger on their desk or in their car, but it doesn't replace the appropriate rapid charging that most Android manufacturers offer. At the least, battery life is still fantastic a year later, and more software-side modifications in One UI 7 should further assist keep battery life great during the 7-year lifespan of the phone. When I released the Galaxy S24 Ultra camera review last year, I marveled at the advancements Samsung had achieved. The company has gone from mediocre to the top in most instances, barring just one significant area: motion capture. While the Galaxy S24 Ultra offered up some choices to help eliminate blurry moving subjects, mainly toddlers or pets that won't hold still, its performance was still poorer than the competitors. As of a year later, this hasn't altered a bit. If anything, Samsung appears worse than ever because even OnePlus has corrected the same problem that plagued its phones for a long time. Well, with the S25 Ultra on the edge of being officially revealed, you're undoubtedly wondering if it's still worth getting the S24 Ultra. While I can't fully answer that question until the S25 Ultra is actually unveiled, we know for sure that you can obtain an S24 Ultra offer that will save you hundreds, thus waiting a week or two to pre-order a S25 Ultra. The first question is how finicky you'll be about any potential display flaws you're sure to come into with the S24 Ultra. The display has generated the highest amount of complaints I've seen about the phone over the last year, and while some of them are from power users who nitpick the slightest things, plenty of faults have been spotted by individuals who aren't tech-savvy too. There's no assurance that Samsung will remedy any of these with the S25 Ultra, but it'll certainly address at least a handful. You'll also need to examine the camera, which may be the main reason to buy something else. If you primarily take images of your kids or pets, you should pick a OnePlus 13 or a Pixel 9 Pro. Both produce significantly better images of moving subjects, with the Pixel taking a tiny edge in this category. If this particular photographic category isn't large on your list, the S24 Ultra could be a wonderful purchase. Lastly, you may want to consider getting a OnePlus 13 over either a Galaxy S24 Ultra or a prospective S25 Ultra for battery life and charging speed. Samsung phones, along with iPhones and Pixels, have long been among the slowest charging smartphones on the market. That's never been truer in 2025, when phones like the OnePlus 13 take 20 minutes to top up the battery, while an S24 Ultra can take an hour and a half. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more exciting tech news and updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.